You guys asked for it, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video for this and make sure you guys know all the information. But before I begin, let me ask you one solitary question, and that is, which character do you want to play the most in Budokai Tenkaichi 4? Let me know in the comment section below, because maybe he's in this list. I'm sure at least one or two of them from your own personal list are going to be on this video. Now, back a few months, I made a video talking about the stages that I wanted to see in Budokai Tenkaichi 4, and that video, you guys had a lot of fun with that video, and we're asking when I was going to go ahead and do one for actual characters. Which character roster do I really want to see in the new video game? And so, a little bit late, but you ask and you shall receive. This is my list for the most crucial characters that I wholeheartedly want in Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 4, or Dragon Ball Super Budokai Tenkaichi. I don't know which way they're going to go with that name. These characters to me are literally the essential characters to make Budokai Tenkaichi 4 not only stand out from the Budokai that has come before it, but at the exact same time, these characters are all extremely unique in the way that they handle things, that I think that it would be such a awesome and cool, diverse playing experience. That's kind of why I picked these guys, and I picked some fan favorites here, but I feel like the ones that I picked are pretty spot on. I'm just really excited for this game to finally come out. But let's go ahead and go into probably the safest pick, and this one is definitely on your list. If he's not on your list, then you guys are lacking, and that is Gohan and Piccolo. I put both of them here because I feel like Dragon Ball Super Superhero kind of showcased them as a duo. So Gohan and Piccolo, I think, are probably the best additions to the Dragon Ball roster, not even just for a game, but for the anime, for the manga. I think that, I mean, they've been there the whole time, but these new transformations they got, they kind of are in the same wavelength as what Goku and Vegeta have been. So now we have a huge new crew of god level beings that aren't really gods, that are basically some of the members of the Z Squad. And so I feel like Gohan and Piccolo would play really, really cool. Gohan specifically, I think, is going to be very, very overpowered, especially with some of his finishers. I think his finishers are going to have that extra zest to it, especially since it's been basically said that he is the strongest character as of right now in Dragon Ball. But Piccolo, that one's going to be fun, because I feel like the orange Piccolo transformation specifically is the one that's going to stand out here, because the golden Piccolo transformation is cool, but it really is just kind of like a power-up. That's basically it. Nothing really changes. But with Orange Piccolo, not only do we get a bigger character, we get a stronger character, we get one that can go bigger and bigger and bigger. The next character is a what if, and if you guys don't remember, Budokai Tenkaichi had a lot of what if scenarios. I want a what if character, and the only one that I want, it comes from the Dragon Ball Super Superhero movie, and that is what if Cell Max character. And I'm talking about like a perfected Cell Max, one that is kind of closer to Cell. This one's more out of the realm of possibility, because I don't think that they'd ever put a what if character like this, at least officially. This is definitely for the mods, but I think that a little bit of love for that Cell, some of the Cell designs that we've gotten for Cell as quote-unquote perfect, would be something that would be really interesting to play as. Plus, I just love the character designs that everyone's been coming up with. So this is more like a what if character. But back to official, Ultra Ego Vegeta, I think, is the one that I would probably main, to be honest with you. I think that he had a rough start in the Granola arc. I feel like we didn't really get to see the majority of what he can do. I don't think that his powers were explained or used very effectively, and I don't think that there was enough of his battle abilities that were changed, or his techniques that were changed for this transformation. But I think that they could literally one-up it and give us something awesome for this character's fighting style, for his abilities, and for his attacks. I think that his fighting style should be reckless, and it should be extremely violent and aggressive. I think that if he takes damage, he gains power boost. Now, if he takes overwhelming damage, and there could be like a second meter or a separate meter that shows the power boost, if it goes beyond that, then he gets overwhelmed, and that's kind of explaining what ended up happening in the Granola arc, where he took way too much damage and he really couldn't, you know, come from that fight in solid shape after that. So I think Ultra Ego Vegeta would definitely be really, really fun. I think that would definitely draw the crowds in, the Ultra Ego Vegeta and Gohan. Like, these are all like straight 100% like characters that are gonna get people excited. But the next one is a little bit more on that what if flavor, but not really, and that is Manga Zamasu. So I love the Goku Black arc. It's one of my favorite arcs. It does end really shoddy, but I like it. I think that in the manga, there's an equally good arc. There's a lot of issues, especially with Goku using Hakai, but yeah, it's still really, really solid. But I prefer the Goku Black characterization and the Zamasu characterization from the manga over the anime, and the main reason is because in the manga we get Goku Black, we get Super Saiyan Goku Black, and we get Rose Goku Black, all three of them, so we have more options when it comes to transformations. Then after that, when he finally emerges into Zamasu, or we get the merge Zamasu, we get a Zamasu that isn't just kind of floating and shooting, which is really one of the laziest, in my opinion, and probably most boring ways to have Zamasu. But we get a Zamasu that is literally messing with portals, messing with space-time. Like, he's using his abilities quite effectively. And of course, I would like to have two Zamasus, maybe one that does like the Halo from the anime, and another one that does like the clones, but preferably I would like the one from the manga that does all the clones, that has a lot of abilities, and that has a lot of transformations. I think that one is really sick. The next one is a broad one, and this one is the Gods of Destruction. Just like Budokai Tenkaichi before, where they would just throw all the freaking minions from the Frieza Force army, like all the scouter versions, like all of them in there for no apparent reason, and like they would just be like basically like, you know, carbon copies. I don't want carbon copies, but I do want the Gods of Destruction, at least 5 of the main ones. I want the ones that ended up fighting in the anime against each other before the Tournament of Power actually went. I want Beerus, I want Champa, and I want Belmod. Those are the ones that I really, really want. I preferably would like all of them, but I think that the Gods of Destructions are super important to put in a game like this, because a lot of these characters are God level. Gods of Destruction are supposed to be the strongest ones, so having them in there, it sets that bar of strength really, 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 really high, and gives us something really, really interesting to see. And I think that a lot of the characters like Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, it would be fun to do versus matches against the gods, because that's ultimately what the fans want to see in the anime or the manga, and it's what we haven't been seeing. So I think that would be so much fun to add in there. And my next one is going to be one where you guys are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about, Blackscape? But I'm telling you right now that this is another DBS superhero one, and this is Gamma 2. I think the Gammas are really, really interesting. I think that they have a lot of potential, and I did like the one that, you know, went out in the movie, which is Gamma 2. I think Gamma 2 would be really interesting in a game because of his finisher. I like his finisher, that he comes down and he does almost like a kamikaze attack, that, you know, and then he eventually explodes. I like that finisher. It gives me such a feeling of Majin Vegeta exploding, and it makes sense, and I like it. I feel like he is probably the one that had the most action in the movie. He's the one that we know most of the abilities, and I think that the gun that they use is really, really cool and awesome. And plus, I want to see these guys with battle damage. I want to see these guys actually show that they are Super Saiyan Blue level, and what better way to have them than have them in the game and versing Super Saiyan Blue characters. I think that'd be really, really awesome. I feel like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are definitely worth putting into the game wholeheartedly. But my last one is the one that I want to see not only in Budokai Tenkaichi 4, but I want to see him in Fighters. I want to see an entire arc in Dragon Ball Kakarot, because this is my favorite arc in all of DBS, and this is the Moro arc. Moro needs to be in the game. I want every iteration of Moro, all of them. I want crippled old Moro using the planet against people. I want the more goat-like Moro that ends up fighting everybody. I want the perfect Moro that looks kind of Cell-like. He looks kind of Chad, Giga Chad type of Moro. And I want angelic falling apart Moro, where he ends up becoming the stage, or his attacks become the stage. I think that Moro is probably the most unique character that has been created past DBZ in Dragon Ball, and I absolutely love him. I want him in everything. I want him in this game. I think his abilities are going to be just outstanding, and he is just one of those characters that I could keep coming back for more. He's just so damn fucking cool that I want more of him. I like his backstory. I like the story that he had in the show, and I think that he was a perfect villain to gauge the strength of everybody else on, like gauge the strength of the gods, gauge the strength of Ultra Ego, Gohan even. I think it would be really fun to have those fights where your friend picks Moro and you pick, like, you know, Gohan Blanco. That would be really, really cool. But those are my picks for characters, guys. Let me know if I hit one of yours, or if you have one that you really wanted to see that I didn't cover. Let me know in the comment section below.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.